186 years ago, the Battle of the Alamo took place right here in the heart of San Antonio. The famous facade was built by early Spanish settlers on the banks of the San Antonio River. The mission was originally home of missionaries and their Native American converts until the Spanish authorities recommissioned the Alamo as a military fort. In 1835, Texan volunteers seized control of the Alamo and San Antonio as part of the fledgling Republic of Texas. Colonel James Bowie and his Lieutenant Colonel William B. Travis were given command of Texan forces to help protect the Alamo and its 100 men. On February 23, 1836, Mexican General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna and his 1,500 troops marched into San Antonio to retake the Alamo and recapture Texas. Over the next 13 days, Santa Anna's army swelled to almost 3,100 men. The day before the attack, Travis gathered his men and drew a line on the ground, asking those willing to die for Texas to cross the line and stand beside him. Only one man declined. Within hours, Mexican cannons broke the silence and rocked the walls of the Alamo. By 10 p.m. that night, Santa Anna ceased fire, and the exhausted Texans inside the Alamo fell asleep. At 5:30 a.m. on March 6, the deadly attack began. 3 Texan sentinels outside the Alamo were killed in their sleep. The buglers blasted their battle cry, and Travis marshaled his men, yelling, "Come on, boys! The Mexicans are upon us. Let's give them hell." Inside the fort, the Texans ran out of resources. They began filling their cannons with horseshoes, nails, door hinges, and any metal they could find to help repel Santa Anna's surging forces. During a second wave of attack, Travis was mortally wounded while leaning over the walls to fire his gun. He fell back, drew his sword, and stabbed a Mexican officer while a sea of Mexican soldiers scaled the Alamo walls. Then came a third and final assault. Drastically outnumbered, the defenders of the Alamo had no choice but to retreat toward the chapel and the barracks. As Santa Anna's forces took over the Alamo, he turned his attention to the Texans' flag flying above the walls. 4 Mexican soldiers died as they raised the flag of Mexico above the fray, and they began to slaughter the remaining Texan volunteers. Bowie was among the last killed. He fired his pistol from his cot and died clutching his famous knife. The last of the Texans to die were the 12 men manning the cannon in the chapel. By 6:30 a.m., the battle was over. For the next 15 minutes, Santa Anna's troops continued to fire into the dead bodies. The brutal cruelty of Santa Anna during the Battle of the Alamo inspired farmers, ranchers, and settlers around Texas to take up arms and join the rebellion. Less than 2 months later, Remember the Alamo became a rallying cry as Texans soundly defeated Santa Anna and his forces at the Battle of San Jacinto. The proud Texans once again raised their flag proudly above the Alamo walls, and still do till this day.
At Mission Park and Mission Park Cares, we'd like to bring you more programming each and every week.
Yes, just subscribe here or catch us every Sunday morning on Fox 29.
And remember, at Mission Park, it's our mission to care.